Hi students, today we'll be looking at Pythagoras Theorem, page 232, exercise 11a, question 10. So this is a slightly more difficult question as the one that we did in class. So let's look at how to do this question. Okay, so whenever we do Pythagoras Theorem questions, right, the first thing is to look at the diagram. So you want to identify where are the right angle triangle. So in this case, they say that WY is perpendicular to YZ. So WY perpendicular to YZ. So that's why there's a right angle here. And WX is 8 cm, XY is 9 cm, and XZ is 15 cm. So find the length of YZ and WZ. So you put down the question mark that you want to find. So YZ question mark and WZ question mark. So you go in sequence. First thing, write down part 1 because you're doing part 1. So for part 1, right, if you see the diagram is so confusing, right, it will be good for you to like draw out the diagram separately. So for me, if I want to find YZ, right, I know that I'm looking at this right angle triangle, XYZ. So for this right angle triangle XYZ, here's 9 cm, here's 15. And this part here is question mark, which is what we want to find. So first step, we know that we can use Pythagoras theorem to find out what's the length of YZ. So for our statement, we need to state that using Pythagoras theorem, then for Pythagoras theorem, right, is whereby the square of the hypotenuse equals to the sum of the square of the two sides. Plus YZ squared. Okay, so this statement over here is the Pythagoras theorem. So after that, if you want to do it faster, I'll show you later. So let's do it step by step. So let's shift all the numbers to one side. So YZ square YZ square equals to 15 square minus 9 square. And YZ equals to square root of these numbers here. So 15 square minus 9 square will be... So 15 square minus 9 square will be 144. So we know that square root of 144 is 12. So in this case, it's 12 cm. So this is part 1. So part 2, right, they ask you to find WZ. So part 2. So WZ, right, can be made up of the bigger right angle triangles. So what do I mean by that? So let me draw it out. So WYZ. So we know that WY is actually equals to 17 cm. Because you take 8 plus 9. 8 plus 9, that's why 17 cm. So YZ is what we have find, 12 cm. And WZ is what we're going to find in the questions. So the same thing, using Pythagoras theorem, WZ square equals to 17 square plus 12 square. So this one is the theorem. So we want to see this statement first. This statement is the first mark to be awarded to you for using Pythagoras theorem. So if you just give me this statement over here alone, if your answer is wrong, right, then you wouldn't get any marks. So we want to see this statement here. The sum of the square of the hypotenuse equals to the sum of the square of these two sides of the triangle. So we need to see this exact statement before you go and manipulate the subsequent part. So some of you, when I was looking through your work, some of you just say yz square equals to 15 square minus 9 square. This one is not Pythagoras theorem. This one over here is then the Pythagoras theorem. So after that, I simplify my answer. Okay, so in order to find what is wz, I take square root on both sides. So wz equals to square root of 17 square plus 12 square, which give me 20.8 cm. So when we look at this square root of this sum of numbers, right, it's actually 20.8 something. There's a long series of like decimal. So in this case, we need to round it off to 3 cific for this type of like answers when there's a lot of decimal place. So round it to 3 cific, it will be 20.8. So 1, 2, 3. So at the fourth significant figure, right, is like 0. So when we round out, it will be 20.8. So this is it for these questions here. So thank you.